Just when I think it's the last video, I think it's something else to make a video of. Last night we were going to put a power inverter underneath my seat. We thought this would be the best place for it, right there. So I unbolted the seat, lifted it up with a piece of 2x, and then when I threaded the self-tapping bolts through the carpet, it started ripping the carpet up. So I took a hole punch and I tried to enlarge the hole by sticking a piece of wood underneath to back it up, but it didn't work perfectly. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 bolts in the back, leave them slightly loose, and have 2 bolts in the front and zip the top off so I can put this thing in like this and then drop it, and it won't move forward. It won't be locked into place, but until I find a better way to do it, that ought to do. So that's the job. Got my wire run through the firewall. My buddy punched holes last night through the firewall. I'll have to put some dum-dum in there. And got my 125 feet of wire. Got my shrink tubing, all my supplies, and it's a beautiful, sunny, cloudless day. And I'm missing the mockingbird that I've got over at the other apartment building. So, the honey said she wants to sit closer to me. This is the way to do it. So, what I've got so far, got my cables draped under the carpet on the top of the firewall, and I've got some clamps, and they were too small, so I sent a friend of mine up to Lowe's to get some 3/8 cable clamps. These are just too small, and I've got my hydraulic cable crimper, and I've already crimped one of the cable ends on, so I'm going to put some of this shrink tubing on now. I'm going to double wall it so that they don't rub, and it goes just like that up through the hole in the carpet that I made. Just thread it underneath. I left a little bit extra. Push underneath like this. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. And there's my bolts. I cut the heads off, and now I can take this out by jiggling it. There. Not the perfect system, but I guess it's good enough. Pretty sunny here, huh? Wow. Beautiful day. Alrighty. Keep working. 3:30. Yeah. What did she call me? A lazy good-for-nothing bum? She says the same thing about you, so we're on even ground. Alright. I'm making a video unless you want to be on YouTube. Alrighty. Here we go. I got my wire trimmed back. Ultra-fine strands. I put them inside. I could solder them, but I don't have the time. Just want to get her done. So, stick this in my power crimper, and I start pumping it. It would be nice if it had a spring on. Pressure. Just a rinky-dink made in China tool. Probably an imitation of a snap-on or something. And I'm struggling with this. It's a 3-handed job. She and her HR colleagues view this generation as a challenge and an opportunity. These young people just crank her down. They're great with math. Alright. Luckily I'm going on a long trip. I'll have Mrs. CW drive. I gotta delete some memory off this 4 gigabyte chip. It's crazy. What was I doing now? So I got that crimped on. Not the most perfect job. It's a little bent. But it doesn't matter, because you'll never see it, because I'm going to put some shrink tubing over it. And I bought on eBay. I bought tons of it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Shrink tubing with glue inside. Medium wall. Stuff you buy at the hardware store is thin wall usually. It's expensive. I buy mine in bulk. 10 feet, 3 meters at a time. Comes on monster rolls. Big monster rolls. Miles of it. There. Look at that. Now I got a red one and a black one. Put them on. Slip them under the carpet. Mix up the colors. Oh, it's going to be a tight squeeze. And I got that on a hump too to get it up in the air. Hear that, Harley? I'm not going to be riding mine. Alrighty. Keep up the good work. Oh boy, it's bright here. Beautiful day. Nice day for riding a Harley. Same color cap. Lucky me. Crazies. 3M black, pardon me, super weather strip. Boy, I've had this for years. Made in USA. What does 3M stand for? Give you a hint. St. Paul, Minnesota. 3M stands for Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. And with it, I'm gluing on the rubber gasket, foam rubber, on the air cleaner of my 6.5, and it was mangled. Held on with copper silicone, so I had to trim off a little bit because it was stretched.
Your colleagues are bringing looks like a kind of a, well, it looks old, but it's it looks like a pretty important metal. This is
a little hole there.
given to a man named Lawrence McVeigh.
I got all kinds of things. I got a piece of plexiglass to replace the broken window that I found in the cap. $86 for a whole brand new assembly. The whole slider was $86, but I wouldn't have it for a week. I needed a few hours, so got the track for it. Luckily, that was still lying on top of the side rail. Found it right there. Well, things are going pretty well. It's just too bad the day is ticking away. I've got my inverter installed. Wires there.
The United States government says that
snake down here. They go underneath the rocker panel molding. Up there, I got washers underneath the seat bracket, not to squish the wires, and there they are. And I double insulated the red one so it wouldn't touch. Let's crank her on. Turn that radio down. Let's see what she sounds like. Not too loud. Engineered in Canada, manufactured in China. Bought it at Amazon, $100 and something. There it is. I can plug in my electric razor if I want to shave, or cell phone charger. I'm going to put a power bar next to it. I've got one downstairs in the basement. I'm going to get that right now. These are the clips that hold the front spoiler on that I found in the back of the parts truck. But they're all rusty, mangled, busted, rusted, junk. I sent a friend of mine over to True Value. And what he did was, my limited time left on my chip, what he did was, he took these two clips and he screwed them together like that. So the guy said, oh, you need 22 then, because that makes a nut, a double-ended nut. So he gave him 22 of these clip nuts. Anyways, I needed 11, but whatever. For 33 cents, they're good to have. So he also sold them stainless steel bolts. Stainless steel. Made in China. 35 cents each. 37 cents and 30 cents. I've got my air cleaner rubberized together. I had a little piece here that I cut off that I ended up needing, and I couldn't find it. It was stuck to my glove. Black on black. So I cut a piece of hard rubber off this for transporting heavy stones. Rubber. I got a tap light here, LED. I'm going to mount over there so I can have some light in the cab. Cab, and I got plexiglass from the window. I'm going to glue this in momentarily and take that whole window frame off. And the inverter's installed, and with 7 seconds left, I've got a mangled installed interior light. It only works when the other interior light's on. 12-volt power outlet. I'm going to put an outlet on this side of the dash for my GPS. And look at this. I got 2 screws here underneath the dash. Oh, that light's bright and hot. I got 2 screws. They line up within a 1/16 of an inch. I just trimmed the lighter plug bracket by a fraction. And look at that. I got a power outlet. Turn that light off. A power outlet right there. And I have a lamp over here. It's kind of rude and crude looking, but there's some metal here, so look at that. And it's actually independent of the interior light. Turn them off, and it still works. Totally independent. The reason it didn't work a minute ago, it's good for checking maps in the middle of the night. Police cars have them, trucks. All vehicles should have them. Bright interior lights. I put this fuse gizmo on I bought for $10. I took a fuse out of the crew cab. It's been good for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, poof, I blew the 40 amp fuse. I meant to buy 10 of these on eBay for 20 bucks, $2 each. And the guy wanted to give me 70 amp fuses. I wanted 50s. I just realized that my wires that go here aren't fused. I should have one of these giant fuses on this wire right there. Looking for trouble. Luckily I routed them very carefully, and I also made sure they weren't touching the exhaust pipe way down there because they come through the firewall. I was looking at these heater hoses also. Original heater hoses that go so close to that exhaust pipe. And this O-ring fitting here, it's got a tiny bit of seepage. Anyhow, got my air cleaner back on with my mangled gasket. I fixed it because GM is discontinued. Got my big screwdriver here, so when my buddy gets here he can put the spoiler on with the big screws. The fan belt's good, glow plugs work, brake fluid's up. Wouldn't be a bad idea to flush those. We'll see if we get around to it. Good music on Garrison Keillor. So back to my lighter plug. I'm going to wire this in right now.